WWE Crown Jewel is right around the corner, and there's a lot of interesting matchups happening for this premium live event, and the first one is going to be the Women's Championship match between Bianca Belair and Io Sky. We had the triple threat match between Charlotte, Bianca Belair, and Asuka at SummerSlam, where Bianca Belair retained her championship. Io Sky cashed in Money in the Bank and was able to become the brand new WWE Women's Champion. Bianca Belair was on the shelf for the past 2 months, and she just recently made her return to SmackDown. When she returned, Bianca Belair was able to take out the role model Bayley with a KOD. Is Crown Jewel going to be where Bianca Belair reclaims her women's championship, or is Io Sky going to retain? I think they still need to do a lot with Io Sky. I think it's too quick to put the belt right back on Bianca, and frankly, I don't think she needs it right now. To me, Bianca needs that little bit more of an edge, a little bit leaning in towards the heel side of things. And Bianca is getting to such a level in WWE, almost at like a Charlotte, Becky level, where she doesn't really need the title in order to be successful. My prediction here is that Io Sky is going to retain the belt. Damage Control is probably going to get involved, where you are going to see Bayley try to interfere. We could also end up seeing Charlotte interfere to team up with Bianca Belair. This could end up setting up some kind of Survivor Series match or tag team match at Survivor Series with Bianca and Charlotte teaming up to take on Damage Control. I think because Bianca has been gone for over 2 months, there's no real need to be thrusting the belt right back on her and to basically cut Io's title reign so short. I think she still needs the belt for several more months, and hopefully she can keep it all the way through to the Royal Rumble or to WrestleMania. I still think Io is going to need a couple of more wins here. Now, speaking of wins, let's talk about John Cena, because John Cena is needing the big wins. On SmackDown, John Cena was stating in his promo how he hasn't had a singles win in years. Enter Solo Sikoa. Now, we've been mixing it up with the Bloodline versus John Cena, LA Knight. Yeah, we did see Solo Sikoa come down on SmackDown, get involved with John Cena and eat an attitude adjustment, and this is setting up this match for Crown Jewel. I like that Cena has been around for basically every TV for SmackDown, and it's a good story arc for John in that he needs to get a singles win. He basically squashed Solo Sikoa on SmackDown with the AA. But going through Crown Jewel and getting a singles match, it looks like this is the win John Cena needs, and this can further the story with the Bloodline. I feel like things are still getting planted for Survivor Series, and that we will see John Cena mixing it up with the Bloodline in a multi-man match at that premium live event. Now, since all of the Bloodline is going to be at Crown Jewel, we should see more Bloodline shenanigans where Jimmy Uso gets involved with Solo and try to take out John Cena. I think because they're in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel, they want to be able to give fans that big pop for having the big babyface get a win. And let's be honest, it's Super Cena at the end of the day. John Cena, I think, is going to go over on Solo, but there's going to be shenanigans at the end or in the post-match where you're going to see Jimmy and Solo try to take out John Cena once again. This could lead to a very, very big moment at Crown Jewel. If WWE continues and wants to continue to make Crown Jewel this almost WrestleMania type of show where they bring in a lot of big names, there is a big name that they could bring in to help John Cena if he's getting beaten down by the Bloodline. And that would be a returning Randy Orton. Now, there's been a lot of conversation around Orton potentially showing up at Survivor Series, maybe even the Royal Rumble. But if you bring him back at Crown Jewel to help John Cena take down the Bloodline, it's that favor that John Cena was talking about weeks ago. They're trying to even the odds, and this could end up leading to a multi-man match at Survivor Series where you have the Bloodline going up against LA Knight, John Cena, and a returning Randy Orton. Doing this, I think, would really set things up well. It would also protect Randy Orton coming back for the first time in a long, long time, and that makes the Survivor Series match and build really, really important. I still think John Cena is going over in this, but we might see the return of the Viper hitting an RKO on Jimmy Uso. The next match is Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest, Senior Money in the Bank. And for months, it really feels like forever. It is a mix and mash combination. Judgment Day versus insert Cody, Jay, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, some sort of combination of it. But we are getting this Cody Rhodes singles match against Damian Priest. This match will be interesting because Finn Balor Dominic Mysterio and the almost Judgment Day member JD McDonough are not scheduled for any matches. It's just a straight up one-on-one. You gotta figure you're going to get Judgment Day interfering with this match. That's kind of how all these things go. However, what we are dealing with here is Super Cody Rhodes. Cody has beaten Dominic Mysterio clean in the ring at pay-per-views. This one is tricky because on one hand, Cody could easily go for multiple crossroads and just pin Damian Priest clean in the ring. However, he is holding Money in the Bank and he is one half of the tag team champions. And I feel like you're trying to build Damian Priest up to that next level, to that heavyweight championship level. Do I think he's gonna get a win over Cody? No, I think Priest is going to ultimately lose here. I think they do need to try to protect both people, both Cody and Damian Priest. Cody is going to go undefeated probably to WrestleMania, but this story, it doesn't have me terribly excited because it's more Judgment Day, Cody, and all of that mixing it up. This one I think could break down into a double DQ or to a no contest and have the rest of Judgment Day show up and interfere, and then on the other side you're gonna get Jey Uso to come and make the save with Cody, Sami Zayn coming in as well, and they're gonna try to even the odds here, and once again probably setting up Judgment Day versus this combination, maybe including Kevin Owens as well, even though he's over on SmackDown at this point, but still has problems with Judgment Day. It could lead to their Survivor Series match. I gotta give it to somebody, but I'm gonna go with Cody here, somehow getting the win. Now, this next match just came together on Monday Night Raw, and it's going to be JD McDonough representing the Judgment Day going up against Sami Zayn. I don't think that this match is really going to be anything spectacular. I honestly think that it's going to be a good, hard-hitting match between these two going at it back and forth, but I really just don't see JD picking up a win. I think they're going to want to keep Sami Zayn going strong, and that's where I think Sami is probably going to pick up a fairly quick and easy win in this match. Now, this next match is very interesting because I think it's going to have a long-term implication. We're talking about the United States Championship match, Rey Mysterio, the champion, going up against Logan Paul. Now, I like Logan Paul's promo work that he's been doing lately. The backstage segments, he took out Rey Mysterio backstage on SmackDown, and I have to hand it to Logan Paul. I'm not a huge fan of his, but I will say he knows how to get that heel heat. He can go in the ring, and he's very good on the microphone. This match feels very thrown together and almost random, where you have Logan Paul openly just challenging Rey Mysterio, Rey accepting the challenge, and off we go. This really feels like a way to get the United States Championship on Logan Paul. I think he comes out with the win here against Rey, and I think it's going to lead to Logan Paul holding on to the US title for several months. I don't see anything crazy happening in this match in terms of interference or other people and more shenanigans. There's going to be some good high spots in here, but ultimately I think Logan Paul is going to beat Rey. Hopefully this would lead then to more tension with the LWO, so we can see kind of the heel turn of the rest of the members in the stable and get Santos Escobar maybe turning on Rey, and that way you can spin off their feud for several months. You then get Logan Paul on social media, you get him on his podcast, he's just promoting WWE with the belt, walking around as champion. And I think if Logan Paul wins the belt here, he's gonna hold on to that thing for several months. You can also go back for another month in another pay-per-view and have Ricochet go against Logan Paul again because of the whole dynamic in the match they had previously. Now you could do it for the US Championship. I also think this works because the US title hasn't been doing a whole lot with Rey Mysterio. It's been fine being on Rey, but it hasn't elevated the belt at all. And before that, we had the extensive run of Austin Theory, which really didn't go anywhere. Having it on Logan Paul, it'd be new, it would be refreshing, but I think it would lead to a bigger match at WrestleMania against LA Knight, but we'll talk about that in another episode. So for me, Logan Paul is going over in this match. Next up, we have the Fatal 5-Way for the WWE Women's World Championship, and you got the champion Rhea Ripley going up against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Raquel Rodriguez. A Fatal 5-Way match is just a lot of fun. What has been good about this whole dynamic and feud is having multiple women involved with all these stories intertwined, Nia Jax making the return just a few months ago and being very dominant, and you have all these other women that are just trying to attack her, and they're all ultimately trying to go for Rhea's belt. This has been great because you've seen Rhea Ripley seem almost vulnerable, that she's had to deal with and focus on all of this, clutching her belt, having to deal with multiple women coming after her. This will be probably a really good showcase for the likes of Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler in particular. Nia Jax is going to be the big dominant force in this match, and this is where I see all the other women in the match teaming up and trying to take out Nia Jax. She's probably going to be the focal point of all of this, and then ultimately I think you get Rhea Ripley trying to do a riptide on Nia Jax to win and retain her championship. Rhea, I do not see losing this belt all the way to WrestleMania. They haven't built up enough contenders overall. This is the first time in several months where I feel like Rhea is actually getting challenged for her title. So it's great to see that more women are getting elevated, but they haven't really been building enough people to get to Rhea Ripley's level at this point. It'll be really interesting to see what they do at Survivor Series with Rhea. Is she going to be involved in the entire Judgment Day storyline in a War Games match? Or is she going to be off on her own fighting the rest of the women's division? And the next match has me super excited. It's going to be the World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth Rollins, the champion, going up against Drew McIntyre. For weeks, the tension's been building between McIntyre and Seth Rollins. McIntyre not wanting to get involved in anyone's business. What's been great here is the promo work and the story they've been telling. Not only of Seth Rollins having his back just destroyed, and he's been grueling it out, especially in his last feud against Shinsuke Nakamura. They are building Seth up more and more that eventually he's gonna lose. Something is gonna happen where Seth can't go anymore. Drew McIntyre as this tweener almost heel is really good, but what we need to see is Drew go full heel. The promo work between these two has been excellent. They talked about how Drew McIntyre was a champion in front of nobody in the Thunderdome, and it really feels like Drew needs to win. Will he win though? Will he beat Seth Rollins one-on-one? You also have the looming element of Mr. Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. This could be an ultimate moment for a cash-in too. I really want to see Drew McIntyre win the belt here, but ultimately, I think Seth Rollins is going to retain the title. This one really has me interested because you do have that Money in the Bank element. One thing I can see is Seth retains one-on-one, no Judgment Day interference, but Damian Priest comes out and cashes in at the very end on a very broken Seth Rollins, and Drew allows the cash-in to happen. That way you could get Seth in a Judgment Day match going into Survivor Series and teaming up with Cody and the rest of the team there, and you give Damian Priest a run with the belt even if it's for just a few months. You could also have it where Drew McIntyre just wins the title because he gets the help of Judgment Day. But if you do that, you're still making it difficult to kind of play into Damian Priest cashing in when he would cash in and all of that. I don't want to see the feud end so quickly between Drew and Seth because I think it's just getting started. So I am going to stick with it that Seth Rollins is somehow going to retain the belt, and probably with a tease of a cash-in from Damian Priest. And the main event, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus the megastar LA Knight. WWE has done a wonderful job building LA Knight this past year. They have teased his giant wins and giant moments of maybe winning the US title, of maybe winning Money in the Bank. The crowd buying into him. We've seen him mixing it up with John Cena, now getting involved in the bloodline and leading to a match between Roman and LA Knight at Crown Jewel. I have two thoughts on this feud as a whole. Number one, I think it's an awesome spot for LA Knight. I don't think he will win at Crown Jewel. I think it's too far-fetched, but I think it will elevate him just having the match with Roman. You are now building a brand new babyface at the very top of the card, and someone who is elevated really, really quickly in terms of how WWE typically runs with their baby faces. The other side of it though, it could be too much too soon for LA Knight and the fans in particular. If you have LA Knight going up against Roman and losing, is there a risk that the fans get deflated and feel like he's never gonna win the big title? Because if you go from Roman, the only other place to go is down. And where would LA Knight go from here, where you keep him on TV in a prominent role? Does he get just one title shot against Roman, lose, and then that is just it? Or is he ever gonna get that rematch? This match has a lot of intrigue because it's probably gonna tell a bigger story for LA Knight. And I think for WWE, they're also gonna look very closely at how LA Knight is received, how the match goes as a whole, because he could be a future world champion. Whether it's the World Heavyweight title or eventually conquering either Roman or Cody or whoever and getting the Undisputed Championship. I worry that this match with Roman Reigns is going to halt LA Knight's momentum because he's on such a roll. His promo against Roman Reigns was awesome, where he sat at the head of the table. Rubbing shoulder to shoulder with John Cena has been a really good thing for LA Knight as well. But ultimately with this match, and it's a Roman Reigns match, it usually means there's going to be a ref bump. The ref is going to get taken out. You're going to see the bloodline involved, and I think it's going to be a spear, and LA Knight loses to Roman Reigns. But I don't think that's the end for LA Knight and the bloodline. The Crown Jewel is shaping up to be very interesting. And let me know if you guys enjoy videos like this. Hit the like button so we know, and I'll do more of these for you. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.